Manus is an AI company that joined Meta just a couple of months ago for a $2 billion acquisition. And now we are hearing that China has potentially blocked the Meta acquisition of this Chinese founded AI startup. What is going on? Let's dive deep into this thing. I think it's going to be a little bit spicy, right? Who am I? Hello, I am Ahmad Awais, founder of Command Code, a coding agent. It can do it all. It can write your tests, build your projects, all sorts of fun stuff that you're used to. But when you're building with Command Code, it also observes how you accept, reject, or edit your code. And based on top of that, it auto generates a skill for your project that you can share with your team and use with cheaper open source models to get really good results and compete with Claude and GPT. Back to the video now. What is happening? So before we jump into this acquisition and all of this fun stuff, let's actually understand where they are coming from. So Manus is a company, and this is how I remember things. Manus is the first company that started experimenting with Firecracker based micro VMs, and I say first as in first company that went viral experimenting with this, right? I think a bunch of other companies started doing this as well. And the idea was if you create a micro VM, which is like a virtual machine, and it is separated, and you can have thousands of them very cheap, and it can do anything inside of it. It's like a computer. And if you attach an LLM to that micro VM and asked it to do anything, it can basically do it. When I was building Langbase, one of the common questions we would get is, can I get my agent to download a video from YouTube and split it up into a bunch of different things, do a captioning on it or whatnot? And that is a very expensive endeavor, right? And it requires a particular different type of infrastructure that is very hard to scale. But if you think about micro VMs, and if you can attach and mount storage on that, it's basically just a computer. It's a computer at scale, and you can have as many of these as you want, right? So if you have a computer and you have an LLM and you give it, here's the YouTube video link. Can you download this? Can you use, I don't know, Parakeet or something, a model to transcribe this? And can you split it into, I don't know, 10 small videos? It will just do it. It will be able to easily figure out that there's something called YTDLP or YouTube downloader, and it will install that, and then it will install FFmpeg probably, which I think YTDLP has inside of it anyway, and then it will run some local model or something to do transcription, which should be pretty fucking easy, right? And then out what you will get is these 10 videos, right? Doing this on an API was very hard, but if you create this piece here, it becomes very easy. So this is what Manus did. Manus was like, if we added a computer and asked AI to just do anything inside of it. So Manus had these examples where, you could give it like a PDF book and asked it to convert it into a career coach or whatnot. I think behind the scene, it will just download this book, split it by chapters, understand what each chapter is, convert that into text, and then whenever you ask a question, it can probably install some local vector store, do some basic RAG, and answer that question for you. So you skipped a bunch of things, a bunch of services you would have needed to buy, to do all of this. That is the idea behind Menace. And Replit and Lovable are basically the same things as this as well. And every AI lab, by the way, has a version of this, right? Google has something, Anthropic has something, and ChatGPT has something, right? So it's not like the idea is really good, but it is the idea that worked at the time, right? So Menace actually went from being launched in March 2025 to 100 million revenue in about 6 months. In fact, they got acquired by Meta for $2 billion, right? And this is what we can read here. Manus is joining Meta December 29th last year. The news is out, and it is big. Meta is acquiring Manus. We have been processing 147 trillion tokens, 80 million virtual computers. This is the computer that I was talking about, right? What else is there? There's also a Meta announcement and a bunch of other stuff. And then after that announcement, 4 months later, China is now blocking it. China has moved to block $2 billion acquisition for this Chinese founded AI startup called Manus. And the decision reflects the conflict right now between China and the US. They don't want to lose key technology to the US in this intensifying tech war. I think what's happening is the founders late at night, and I was just studying, what does this actually mean as a founder of an AI company? What does this future look like, right? I've not done a lot of research into this, but I think at this stage, a bunch of things have happened. Their execs have already joined Meta, right? So they are Meta employees now. What else has happened? I think they have already gotten the money. The $2 billion acquisition has gone through. So money has been transferred, right? And after 4 months of this, now China is coming in and they're saying, no, no, thank you. We will not allow this, right? Because the founders are Chinese. I think they are in China and I think they are probably blocked from traveling outside of China or something. Again, I don't know. I have not verified this. This is what I was reading last night on Twitter. So it's a travel ban or something. And I think the other labs like Moonshot AI, the creators, Kimi model, and a bunch of other labs have been notified that, yeah, before you think about an acquisition, let us know, please, right? So, yeah, this is crazy. This is the world we live in right now. Because the entire last 2 or 3 years, we've been seeing US restrict the usage of different things like GPUs or whatnot to China. And now I think China is trying to fight back with, we also don't want that. What are your thoughts on this? Let me read some comments now. Does this mark as a shift in globalized AI to nationalities, siloed AI ecosystems? Bolts is saying doesn't make VMs expensive too. Oh no, VMs are absolutely cheap. So virtual machine is expensive. Container is cheaper, and micro VM is dirt cheap. In case you don't know, Firecracker AWS. Firecracker is this secure and fast micro VM for serverless computing. AWS Lambda is actually built on top of Firecracker. Firecracker was built by AWS. So AWS Lambda and Fargate, they are both built on top of this micro VM, which is how AWS Lambda is so cheap. It is serverless. It can do basically anything you want. And it is siloed as in, it is super secure. It's not like a container. There's no kernel being shared, right? That is the kind of weird thing that micro VMs are really good at. So yeah, like if you know Flyo is basically built on top of micro VMs, right? So micro VMs are dirt cheap. But the problem is, at the time when Manus did this, there were not many companies doing this. It was not easy to do, and there were not many companies available where you could buy these micro VMs from, right? I remember we launched chai.neo at the time, which was a coding agent that allowed, which is now called command.neo. We are probably going to shut this down and convert this into command code cloud. The idea behind this was it would, you would give it any kind of prompt and it would use lang-based infrastructure to create that agent and host it for you. And we built it on top of micro VMs. And we used Flyo, and I think it was a big struggle to get like 1,000 micro VMs from them at that time. Now I'm so excited about this idea. Like, I don't know if you know Daytona. I'm actually an angel investor in Daytona. I think Daytona is doing really, really well. They have probably the best version of sandboxes. I don't think they are micro VM based, but they are launching micro VM soon. I think they're based on something else, but they have amazing benefits. 90 millisecond to get your own computer for your agent is unbelievably fast. Like compare this to, I think the offerings from Vercel or Cloudflare, I think they both take like a second, right? Also, they have amazing concurrency. Like you can get like 50,000 of these in 1 second from Daytona, right? So yeah, that's actually, and I also know Ivan. Ivan is a really nice guy. If you are on Twitter, I would recommend you, give him a follow. They're doing amazing, amazing work. So yeah, micro VMs are a thing. Micro VMs are computers for agents now, right? Anywho, coming back to this video, compute is getting so expensive. Okay, 80. I don't think any more comments are on this topic. Hey, Bauer from Facebook, see you here. Platforms that do not stream the comments live. There you go. Yeah. I remember the CEO of Daytona messaging on Slack to repost their tweets on their launch. Yeah. Ivan is good people, right? So this is what's going on in the market right now. Market is goddamn crazy. Manus acquisition, after the money was transferred, after the execs have joined, Meta, has been blocked by China. And I think the same retaliation is going to come from the US. So it's funny. We live in a world where both talent and app layer is also as important as the compute layer, right? That is what I'm going to take away from this. But it's also a silly thing that I've been thinking a lot about, right? A lot of people used to say, ideas are worth nothing, right? This was a very common advice, right? For a long time, ideas are worth nothing, right? I think this is not true anymore. I think ideas are worth everything now because AI can build things for you. If 2 years ago you had the idea that, oh my God, Claude is not being sold outside of the US, if I can fork VS Code and sell Claude, literally the subscription outside of the US, everybody would be able to use Claude outside of the US through me, then you would have built a $50 billion company called Cursor, right? I know the execution matters. I know the people matters and the tech matters, but I think ideas are worth a lot nowadays. I have 500 ideas. I'm building 500 things and I can just do a lot. Like for example, not launched yet, I'm going to launch this project soon. It's called Env. Env is a project that I've been building. Whenever I'm running coding agents in a project which has real environment variables, I actually don't like to take that kind of risk. So this project, what it does is it just hides your environment variables in a global directory, and it can also encrypt them and put the password for that encryption in your OS keychain. This is the part where I think I was still figuring out if that is still working or not. I built this in maybe 5 to 10 minutes last night, which is why I have not launched it yet. But yeah, I'm not lying. This is crazy that I'm able to build this very, very quickly, and this could become an entire security product inside of Command Code. Thank you. You like our graphics. We are actually changing a lot about branding. We are leaning into this constellation space unknown black hole vibe. Like you are exploring something that you don't know what it would look like. And we're going through our launch week right now, which is what I'm probably going to record this video next on that. We launched hooks yesterday. This is our new branding, a touch of physical layer on top of it, and a little bit of purple, right? And today we launched, I think one of our designers did launch 10 packages, 10 taste packages for design. I think these are really good. Where's the blog post? So what he ended up doing is he went to a bunch of different brands and he built taste packages for all of these brands. Like for example, here's an Airbnb taste package, right? If you download this taste package, and taste packages are, things that are learned from your coding sessions, right? So this is the Airbnb design taste. If you downloaded this and ran it through command code and built something, it would look like, Airbnb or close to it, right? So there are like a bunch of different things that he did. I think he actually posted a video. I don't think I can find that out. Tony Stark wise, yeah, leaning into all the space theme and whatnot. Like I'm really excited about that. Anyway, let's close this thing, right? I think ideas are worth a lot. If you have a good idea, there is no bottleneck potentially. You should be able to very, very quickly build that idea and explore what does that look like. Obviously, execution is going to matter after you have some form of product market fit. What do you think about Manus acquisition getting blocked? What are your comments? Let me know and use your code for good. Peace.